Alright, we're gonna try this video again. This is probably my second or third attempt this weekend to try this video. I've been sick for the last week and lost my voice while recording the last one, but we'll jump into it here. If you want, turn your video on to 1.5x speed or 1.75. It'll help you get through the video a little bit quicker. Anything I go over in this video is not financial advice. It is purely for entertainment purposes only. So let's jump in. Basically, I'll go over different charts of cryptos, mostly cryptos. That's mostly what I trade. I will go over like a few stocks, or if I have a couple on my list here, and this is my list over here, and it's a pretty big list. It's mostly crypto. I do have like silver and gold I look at, and so this is a chart of Bitcoin. We'll just start with Bitcoin, and we just got our weekly closes a few hours ago, and I kind of think it's kind of an important time to go over this and show what's probably going to happen moving forward here. Today's date is January 25th, 2026, and pretty much from now until the rest of the year, this is pretty much what I think is going to happen. So this last year, this is the candle that we got, the yearly candle of all of 2025, and it's a red inverse style candle. So it's a red reversal, red inverse kind of hammer candle sitting up high with a higher wick than the previous year. This is a very bearish candle, yearly, that we got from 2025. And as you can see, this is this year's candle so far. We have already retraced to the upside a pretty good amount, and now we've come back down. And now we are just about to go a little bit lower for the year, or break our yearly low, which is currently at 86,074. The current price is 87,591. We're coming awfully close to that. This candle right here is not the type of candle that you just typically go higher off of. Usually you will retrace to the upside and then come down and sell off throughout the year. The big question is, will we sell off and come back up before the end of this year's over, or will we just sell off? And I think it is extremely rare that we will just get up, go, and break the yearly high and keep continuing. That would be extremely rare. If it does happen, we will be making a separate video, and we will cross that bridge when it comes, but I'm telling you, I do not think the high of 126,199 will break this year. I know there's a lot of people out there on crypto Twitter that have been telling people for the past week, hey, it's all good, let's get in, let's buy, this is it, we're going on a huge bull run. I'm telling you, I don't see it. I want to be bullish, but I'm actually pretty bearish for this year. Not only did Bitcoin get a yearly candle like this, most of crypto did too, and everything else. So I'm thinking my general prediction for this year is that we will come down. We have, let's think here. So this is the 8 EMA on the yearly. And it's right around 55,970. So maybe that could be a general area where we come down to at least at some point this year. And what I like to do is I like to start with the yearly anytime I'm looking at a chart and kind of get an idea of general direction for the year. And I will start from the yearly candle, and I will go down to the daily, which is what I like to play when I'm either longing or short. So I like to go from a 12-month down to a 6-month. There's your 6-month. It's red reversal candle, higher high than previous candle. Moving averages aren't too far away. So I do think at some point we will come down to at least 74K. We will break. We will break hopefully this last year's low. So if we take a look at that, which is right around right here, 74,508. So I want to see this get broken before even thinking about coming back up. This low needs to get broken for the candle to look right, and we should easily break that low this year. And that's, I mean, we're at 87,000 right now. It's only 13,000 away. Let's see what how much further that would be from where we are. So if we're right around here, let's see here. That's about 15% on Bitcoin, roughly. So we need to at least drop at least 15%, and at least either touch or break last year's low. And I'm 95% certain we will at some point this year, and I think it could happen sooner than later, and I'll kind of show why as we go down on time frames here. So we looked at the 6 month. We'll go right back to it. Red reversal, and then there's the 8 EMA right around 71,549. These are the moving averages I use. I use the 8 EMA and the 10 SMA and the 20 SMA as well. The 20 SMA will show up when I go down in time frames. So I definitely think our 6 month low will get broken here pretty soon. Let's go down to 3 month. So moving averages are pretty caught up, but I do expect them to start to roll over here. Let's see if we can see any divergences on the 3 month. We can see momentum coming down. There is no divergence yet, so we're going to wait on that. Let's check the 2 month. Not 2 hour. Let's go down to 2 month. Let's check it out. We are down off of a green. So we did not have a higher high than the previous 2 month that we were down off of, but you can see the 8 starting to roll over the 10. And this is kind of a reversal style, inverse green hangman style candle. The 8 is rolling over the 10. We did buy up initially, and now we're selling back down. Check out the 1 month. Okay, here we go. Now it's starting to get interesting. Here's the 1 month. Here's your red reversal candle. Now we sold off. Now the 8 has crossed the 10. Now we had a little inside red monthly back in December. That's pretty bearish. We came back up, actually broke December's monthly high off a red, which doesn't usually happen, but we did break it, and because it got up off of a red previous candle, it came all the way back down. So it's what it kind of looks like. It went up to the 8 and the 10, and it's sold back down, so it's pulling these moving averages down with it. And now we're below the 20 SMA currently, and there's only 5 days, 21 hours left in this current month. This will be a very bearish candle. If we get a close that looks just like this, I will definitely be putting a lot of shorts on going into February. And I have some on right now, currently. This is a bearish candle, and this is also a bearish candle. And Bitcoin really hasn't moved too much up or down this month, but it is red right now. And I'll show you the 3 week we just got. I think we got it today. Did we get it today? Yeah, I think so. So this is the 3 week candle we just got, and this is extremely bearish. This should have alarm bells going off, and I mean, there's nothing bullish about this candle. And so you can see, we started off of a red, which is, That's organic. Everything comes down. We drop. We come back up because the moving averages aren't quite right to just dump here. We need to chop into them, and that's what we've been doing. We've been chopping for the past, these are 3 weeks of time each candle. Now the moving averages are rolling over. The 8 has crossed the 20. Now the 10 is just about to cross the 20. We have a red reversal 3-week candle, about as bearish as it gets. This is why I started putting on shorts today, is because of this candle. Very, very bearish. We have a bearish monthly. We have a bearish 3-week. We got a bearish yearly. It's all kind of right there. Let's look at the 2-week we got. We did have a green candle, which is interesting, and we are dead flat on top of the current 2-week. We have no upper wick. So could we come back up and get a little bit of an upper wick? Maybe a surprise up to 98K? Possible. I mean, we still have 6 days, 21 hours left in the current 2-week candle. Or do we just drop from here off of a green? And if we do drop, will we come back up because we are dropping off the green? The moving averages, though, look at them. They're rolling over, and we should see a huge dump here soon. I mean, we may be days away from it. Will they hold it off into February? Will they wait to get this red, candle on the 2-week and then dump it? I mean, they could just dump it at any time here. We have the monthly and we have the 3-week. So let's look at the weekly we got. This was a big fat red weekly. We got no upper wick though, and we're down off of a green. We did start to come up a little bit. Maybe we'll get a little bit of an upper wick before coming down this week. I don't know. We'll see. But we are down off of a green. The moving averages have kind of twisted, so the 8 is above the 10. So maybe it needs to come up into the 8 and then sell off to pull the 8 down below the 10 and make it look more right. Maybe another week before they do dump it. I don't know how they're going to do this. If we start to come up a little bit, I may start adding into some shorts, small size, knowing that more than likely we are going to come down because of that 3-week candle. I don't think that 3-week high is going to get broken. Which, let's look at the 3-week high. What was that 3-week high? Extremely bearish candle. The high on that was 97,924. So I'm thinking maybe we come up maybe max of 94,000. Maybe. I don't even know. So a lot of times these upper wicks come to around the body of the previous candle. So, which would be around 91,500. So, and that might be it. And then maybe it's down from there. But I believe within the next 3 weeks we will see a big move down based on this candle. This is the type of candle that tells you we are going down. Majority of the time. Not always. They could, it could be a fake out, but everything is kind of aligning, telling you that this is it. It's coming down. Oops. Let's go back to. Let's look at the weekly and kind of zoom out. I'm kind of doing this without the trend lines just to see the candles. I want you to be able to see the candles without all the messy trend lines and alerts I have set and everything. So yeah, this was let's see, on a daily. I want to show a daily real quick, and then we'll go back to a weekly. So this was kind of what I've been looking at was the kind of the shoulder, the head, and then is this kind of a small shoulder we're creating here on the daily. Does this need maybe just a little bit, a few more days to complete, and it'll be a mini little right shoulder before dumping here. We did get a big red day. Let's check our daily. What did we get? So usually the price action doesn't move too much on weekends, but it did today on Sunday. There was talk of a government shutdown, and that's kind of why we got a little bit of a down day. Man, I wish I would have paid a little more attention Saturday night, because there were so many small little red reversal candles that you could have played, where if you had your stop up here, and then right at the close you're in on a trade, you could have caught all that. I mean, this was such a small candle where you didn't have to risk, too much with your stop loss. Like, if it comes up, stops you out, oh well. I mean, the moving averages are right there rolling down on the daily. Like, this is pretty dire. I would say, like, things could happen really quick here, especially if they do announce something like a government shutdown, this week. I mean, it's all there to just drop. Like, it would take some pretty big time news for it to get up and save itself here or something, because it just looks like this may be it right here, on the daily. 3-day. There's a nasty inside red reversal on the 3-day, and we've already dropped off at a good amount. The moving averages haven't quite rolled over yet, but that candle was there. There was definitely a lot of good shorting candles. And look at that red 2-day. That's pretty textbook to drop off of into the moving averages, pulling them down across the 20, and now we're down. I mean, we are flat on top, so I wonder if at some point this week we are going to come up, maybe early this week, just to get that upper wick before coming back down, because we are flat on top of the 2-day and 3-day. But yeah, I mean, everything's kind of rolled over. I just don't see too much, anything too bullish. I kind of want to show, the trend lines now. Basically, you have an idea of kind of where I think things are going. But let's kind of look back to, kind of how it all kind of set up in previous months, previous years. And I've talked about it before in some videos I have unlisted, but I want to make more of these videos a little more open to the public. So basically, this kind of goes back a little bit of ways, but our initial structure was a cup. It was a handle right here. We had a breakout. We had a back test. And then we got up from there, and we hit near our measured move of our cup and handle, and we've sold off since. And as you can see on the monthly, we are starting to roll down below the 20. The 20 held all the way through, and now we're threatening it now. And you can see the 8 and the 10 are starting to roll over. So it looks like Bitcoin's top is in. We have a double top up here, with a higher high on the second candle. I mean, this is all pretty textbook stuff. Let's go ahead and draw our cup and handle of what we had. Right there. This was our neckline. So, and it's not perfect because it's on a monthly. But if we zoom in, we can tighten it a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I have other charts of Bitcoin with lots of other trend lines. But if we zoom in on a daily, there's going to be a lot more touches in here. This has 3. There's one right there, one right there, one right there. And you always want 3 touches when you draw your trend lines. And that's minimum. The more the better. If you can get 4, 5, 6 touches on your trend lines, then that's great. It's going to be more confirmed of a trend line. So here was our cup, here was our handle, and then once that trend line got broken, it squeezed up. And I wish we would have just kept going, but we did sell off and back test our neckline. We came all the way down, tested the neckline, then got back up to our measured move. And I can show you how we got our measured move. We got it from down here, the bottom of the cup, to the neckline. So we take that, and we take it from where it broke out. So it broke out right here. And as you can see, we got really close. We were very close to where our measure move was. I think we were off by like 1,500 or something, 2,000 from our measure move, but it was close. And we got our double top formed, and then now we're selling off. All right. So our bottom trend line that we had that's coming up kind of shows kind of where our support is on the bottom half. If we take from the candle down here and connect these points, we get, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. So this is kind of our area of support, and it's not perfect because we're on a monthly. If I go into a daily, I can tighten all this up, but I just want to show from a point of view kind of zoomed out that this is kind of roughly where it is. And as you can see where we're at, like we're there at kind of the one of the emergency trend lines. Like when this trend line gets broken, all we have is our neckline of our cup and handle left. Like this is our last like area of support, which is right around 75K. And when that breaks, like it could be a huge dump. It really could. There isn't too many swings we can go back and, I don't know. I think between 50 and 65K, 50 to 75K is like my general range. Somewhere around here, I think as a low for this year. There's some swings down here, and then there's some swings in here that I think we could come down to. I mean, we've got our shoulder, head, and I think we may be creating another shoulder. And then the shoulder, head, shoulder, that's usually a very bearish pattern. It leads to downside, and that's kind of what I think this is. And even if it's not, based on the previous candles we have, I know we're going to be coming down probably in this area at some point this year. I mean, I'll be surprised if this holds again. The neckline of this, I think we're gonna probably drop to it, chop around, wait for the moving averages to catch up, and then dump it down even further, probably to around 50K. And it could go lower. I don't know if it will. I highly doubt we're going to go too much lower. Maybe a quick wick down before coming back up. But I would like us to see, a good size drop, before coming back up. And let's just draw our top trend line here real quick. If it's from this point, let's see here. Where was it? Yeah, I think it's like this. There may have been another way to draw it from here to here, but we'll go with this one for now. It connects two of our higher swings here. In any case, when you kind of look at this, this connects 3 points and 1 point there, so that's 4 points. I think you get 4 points with this trend line. These are, pretty good trend lines. If Bitcoin, even gets up here, this is a rising wedge, so this is still bearish, regardless. If we could have just went here, this could have been a lot more bullish, but we had to kind of come in here, and now it's just, this is tired to the upside. This is extended. This has become a rising wedge. There's multiple patterns in here, but ultimately, like, I would rather just see us drop here, get it over with, get our yearly lower wick, and then we could fight to come back up, and who knows, maybe create a pennant out here and then get up into 2027. I don't know. But, even if we did somehow magically get up here, it's not going to look right. We're going to be coming up against a red yearly, red 6 month. We need to get this drop now so that the chart looks good again. We need to reset the chart, get this drop, and get it over with. And that's kind of what I'd like to see. And we've got the candles to kind of do it in the long term and the short term. So it could be happening sooner than later. I think we could get it in, if not in the final days of this month, I think next month for sure we're going to see a big move downward. We'll look at total, and total's got, I'll just clear some of this out real quick. Let's do that. Total is kind of the same chart as Bitcoin. The cup handle breakout back test. It's the same thing. Total is like all of crypto. It's Bitcoin. It's all the altcoins. It's Ethereum. It's the same chart, and it shows the same thing. Total 3 is the altcoins. So everything excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. It had a cup and handle breakout, and now it's not the same pattern after that, but it's the same bearish setup. And this is, we got the double top, the 1, the 2, and we've been selling off. The moving averages are rolling over. We are at the 20. The 20 has acted as support throughout this entire run up, and now we're threatening it. And I'm just telling you, it looks like it's going to roll over here, and that's going to be it for this year. I don't want to be a person that's long right now, I can tell you that. And there's so much BS on Twitter, from a bunch of accounts, encouraging people to get long and that this is it. And, I know there was a time last year and the year before that where, I was definitely one of those people that were into the hype and felt like, it was go time. And, I was right at the time, but I didn't know how to read a chart at the time as well. I mean, the candles just happened to be good, and we did go up, but I'm telling you now that there's warning signs here. Like, this is very topish, and it looks like we're going to roll over. Let me grab some water real quick. 1 sec. I don't want to lose my voice again. I'm still like half sick, but let's continue on. I want to show Bitcoin dominance real quick. So Bitcoin dominance, and I started talking about this a little bit more in the last video that I didn't get uploaded. So let's look at the yearly on Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is like the overall market strength of Bitcoin compared to all the other altcoins and Ethereum. So like it's been strong for the last few years. Green candles. It did get kind of a reversal or inverse green hanging man style candle. So we have come up a little bit off of it. Not a lot, but I do see us kind of coming down a little bit this year. I think Bitcoin will drop a little bit harder this year than altcoins will. And generally in the past couple of years, Bitcoin's had way more strength than altcoins have had. But for this year, I'm thinking that we will get a red year for Bitcoin dominance. I can see it rolling over and testing lower. It has been strong for a while though. But I think altcoins, just looking at their charts, they're so beat down to the downside, and I think Bitcoin can pull back a lot more than I can see altcoins pulling back this year. I think altcoins can have a little more strength relative to Bitcoin when it comes to when they're dropping. I think they'll drop in lower percentages than Bitcoin will. But yeah, I just basically look at the yearly, and that's what we got. It wasn't red, but it is kind of a reversal candle. With the body of the candle on the lower half, the wick is up high. It only has a tiny lower wick, so it's not. It's more of a inverse hanging man than it is a hammer. Inverse hammer. But let's look at this 6 month. It was red, so we haven't broken the low, and this isn't something you buy. This is just dominance percentage. So this isn't like an actual crypto you buy, but it's just showing you relative strength. The moving averages though are we haven't really threatened them downward yet. It's not really a double top anywhere. And I don't know. It's Bitcoin dominance, so it doesn't trade like an actual any form of currency or anything like that. But it's just interesting to look at. The only thing that really matters is the candle colors, I think, and kind of the way they were positioned with Bitcoin dominance. It is something to keep note of. We can go down to a weekly. We don't need to look at this for too long, but let's see. The moving averages are tight on Bitcoin dominance. We initially broke down and had a pretty good run with alts, and I think this was back during July. Yeah, there's the July run. Alts had a lot of strength versus Bitcoin, and now we've kind of chopped back up into the moving averages, and now looks like the 8 and the 10 got back above the 20 on the weekly. So I don't know. I mean, I wonder if Bitcoin just makes a move, makes a big move up and holds its dominant. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's ready to just roll over again. This was the candle weeks ago where if you were going to see another big leg down in Bitcoin dominance, where it could have been right here, but it didn't happen. We kind of chopped. Now the moving averages have kind of rolled over. So in terms of a weekly, it looks like for now, at this part of the year, Bitcoin dominance is still going to show strength until it doesn't. So it's still there, but I don't think this will, continue the rest of the year. I think we will, roll down on Bitcoin dominance at some point this year. XRP. So I actually put a short on XRP the other day, and I'm still in it. XRP is one of those cryptos where, a lot of people are very big on. It's a very popular crypto, and it's been that way for years. And I got into it about 6 years ago. Heard that, like, if there was ever one crypto to have that wasn't Bitcoin, it was XRP, because of the utility of it and the possible use in the future for what it, it's nothing I can really sit and explain, because it could be an internet myth for all I know. But it got the same yearly as Bitcoin, red reversal, so I took a big portion of my long-term bag and I took it out. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I still have a good size good size of spot in XRP, but I took a lot out and just put it in my trading account, because I don't want to sit long in something that has a yearly that looks like this. Like, why would I do that? Like, yeah, it could surprise. It could be news, and you know what? If that's what happens, then so be it. But this is not something I just want to sit in a big position in, long. This is very toppy reversal, bearish candle. But I'll zoom down to a weekly on it, and I'll kind of show. And it's just so weak. It's been weak for a while, and there's really been nothing impressive since back in June and July when he got that run, and we've just chopped downward. It's been kind of a slow. I mean, we had that 10-10 crash, came back up, and we're still slow grinding down. And very bearish weekly candles. Just doesn't look good. Not at all. We got very bearish, 3-day candle right here that I put shorts on. I put shorts on in here. That's very bearish. Kind of a the on the 2-day, the 10 is above the 8, but it's rolling over. You can see it. You kind of got an inside red to drop off of. There's no upper wick though. Then the daily, I put some shorts on in here. 10 and the 8 are rolling down. Everything's just kind of rolling down, and we're up. From the start of the new week, we're flat on the bottom. This is our weekly that we got. We just got the weekly close about a few hours ago, and we're dead flat on the bottom. We have come up a decent amount, so I think we will drop here. I don't know if this will come all the way back up towards the moving averages to pull them down. I think it's just good to drop here if it wants to. Just, send it down, huge wick down. And I'll kind of show I will show a chart of XRP that's kind of clean, and I'll show you kind of the patterns I'm seeing on it, and then we'll look at other stuff that I know is popular. So this is a weekly. These are the weekly candles. We're clearly below, the 20 and the 8 and the 10. It's just rolling down. It doesn't look good. So these are the important trend lines of what I'm looking at, and kind of the area I think we could get to this year for XRP. And we'll go back and we'll show what we had initially on our setup, back in 2024, and what we were watching. We were kind of watching this little pennant here get filled, and we broke out of it, and we caught this. There wasn't a good call out on the weekly, but I think we had the 3-week. That was like perfect. We had this, right there, that 3-week candle. Moving averages were really tight, and this thing chopped around for a while. I had that 3-week candle right there. So if we turn off that, I don't know why we have alerts way down there. That's kind of weird. It's way down there. It's kind of a green. It wasn't really a hammer, kind of a green hanging man, but it has pretty good sized body, a little upper wick, but the moving averages were tight. We had a lower low than the previous candle, and the moving averages were rolling up, and we went off of that 3-week. So, I was long in there. We knew we had the pennant drawn, and sure enough, it went. And right kind of towards the apex of that pennant, came up, and we'll go back to a weekly here. We'll go to a 3-day. Here we go. Very gorgeous. We came up in here, formed another pennant. I think we may have had a daily, actually. Let's go to the daily. Yeah. So we come up, and we chop around here for many days, and then we get the daily set up right here. That's just absolutely gorgeous. Right here, this candle right there. We get the lower low, moving averages are rolling up, get a hammer inside without breaking the previous day. It's perfect. And then we get a huge move up. And that was kind of last time we were, up big. And now we've been kind of just chopping around. We had a huge 10-10 wick, came back up inside, been chopping down. We've been in this channel for a long time now. This is July of, 2025, kind of at the high. And, we're in January now. We've been just chopping in here. But I think we're going to test around 150, kind of next, 150.96. I think that's our next area. And I don't know if this will hold. It's been holding a while now, but I'm also looking at the bigger picture. We have, a touch back here. We have a touch here, a touch here, a touch here. And so if it wants, it could dump. And if it does dump, there's like $1 down here, in this area, between like 98 and $1.02. And it just depends on when it'll get down here. The longer it takes, the lower it could come down. And this could be like one big little, kind of falling wedge, or, yeah, look, a falling wedge. Let's see here. Yeah, falling wedge like that. So there you go. And we're below the moving averages, and I don't see us just getting up and busting out, right here. I think we're going to come down here. This is really what I want ultimately, is I want us to break this low, and I've said it a million times. This was the 10-10 crash. It's right around $1.22, $1.20. I want us to come down, break this low, come down in here, chop around in here, and then going into later this year, maybe get up and get out. Get up, maybe form in this falling wedge. Falling wedges actually lead to bullish upside. So I think once we complete more, like we're seeing in here, come down, complete in here, and then get up at the end of this year. July, August, September, October, and then get up, and then we'll have an inside, we'll have a lower low green hammer, and it could almost look something like this. If that happens, it could look very similar to this. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Ugh. Work with me, trading view. Oh, we went to a 2 hour. That's all right. Hold on. It could look like this candle that I was showing of that one breakout. This is what our yearly candle, when it closes this year, could look like, and this is what I want it to look like. So right now, our yearly candle is this red reversal, and this is a daily of the breakout we had. But last year's candle was a red reversal, just like this. And so what I want us to do is I want us to drop and break the low of last year. Drop down and then come back towards the end of this year and have an inside green hammer. And then if that happens, we can continue with bigger moves upward. This will be very bullish if we can get that this year. This is the candle I want this year. I want the setup candle. We don't have it this year. I wish we did. I wish I could say that 2026 is going to be a huge bullish year, make a lot of money to the upside, but it's not. But this is the setup candle I want for the yearly. And I'll show it again, the yearly. This is like everything else in crypto. Oh, I hate trading views sometimes. Oh my God. Okay, so let's clear this out. Show what I want. I want us to come down here. It'd be like right around here, right around our dollar. Break the low of this, and then towards the end of the year, come back up, close somewhere in here without breaking this high. So we have a lower wick than the previous year. And I want us to get up and close inside green. And it'll be like that daily candle that sent us, and it'll be perfect. So we need to come down and break this low. All right. I did have a request to look at Tesla, so we can do that. If I can find it. Here's Tesla, and Tesla actually looks really nice yearly candle. It did break the previous year's high, just a smidge, but Tesla almost has an inside green hammer with the moving averages rolling up. Like I think Tesla could have a big year. I really do. I think once this high gets broken, then we could see a huge squeeze up this year. Tesla does look really nice if you're into it, if that's your thing. This is a 12-month. I will say, though, I did look at the 6-month, and it is up off of some reds, I think, because I was looking at this. Yeah, it is up off of a red. But the moving averages are very tight in here. So I think we can make a big move. We are up off of, we're up off a red there. We're up off of a red there. So 6 months kind of iffy. But I don't think it's end-all, be-all. I think it can make a decent move up. Let's look at a 3-month. There's a good candle. Got up. Green kind of continuation. I think we can get up here. Moving averages are pretty tight in here. So, I mean, it could make a move. Tesla really could. It's pretty volatile, too. Let's look at a 2-month. Red 2-month. Higher high. We've already got a decent lower wick. We still haven't broken. You know me. When there's a red candle, I want to break the low of the red candle before getting back up. But it's such a small body too, and we do have a little bit of a lower wick. Moving averages are right there. We could get up here off this 2-month, but I don't know. Maybe we come back in. We could tap the 8 and get kind of a tweezer bottom with the last 2-month candle, kind of a tie or maybe slightly break it and then get up. We'll see. Moving averages are right there, so it doesn't necessarily have to. Monthly. Got a green flat on the bottom though. I don't know if did we break it. Yes. Okay, so we have broken the previous monthly's candles low. If we can get up and get a green in the next 4 days, 18 hours, we will have an inside green candle, and that'll be kind of a unicorn setup to go higher off of. This will be a really nice candle. If we do get this, if this ends up turning into a green candle and doesn't break the high in the next 4 days, that could be really nice. Or is this monthly? Yeah, this is monthly. So there you go. We'll have a nice monthly if that can find a way to go green. 3 week, big red 3 week. We are flat on top. So I wonder. We've already got a new low. We are currently green on the new 3 week. Can we get up and go here? Maybe. We pulled back into the moving averages. So it should be able to get up if it wants to. 2 week, we have a new lower low. Moving averages, though, are kind of crossing. So 8 has crossed the 10. Maybe it can pull itself back up here. And it's got a nice little hammer that closes 4 days, 18 hours. But that's also when the monthly closes, so it'll be interesting. Let's see our weekly on Tesla. That's pretty bullish. I don't know when the weekly closes, though, for Tesla. It doesn't say on here, but this is a very bullish candle. If it remains like this, very bullish, actually. I don't know when it closes, though. I mean, as you can see before, like, you get, candles like that, you get moves higher usually. Yeah. So it's kind of come in, got up, come in. Now do we make another move up here? It's a weekly. It's nice. We'll see. 3 day. We have a lower low red. Moving averages are kind of sketch. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. 2 days got a lower red. Don't like that. Shoot. Let's see here. Oh, God. Come back here. 1 day. Alright, starting to get up. Can they pull the moving averages back above the 20 and get up here? Do we have any patterns we can see if we zoom out? Let's zoom back out to a monthly. Let's start with the monthly. Any patterns we can find here? We can draw our trend lines. We already had them drawn. Kind of a channel so far. It's kind of all we have going, down, up, down. Will it roll over here, and come down and keep... I don't know. We have the yearly candle to move higher, so maybe we just get up here, and then once this trend line breaks, we see a huge squeeze. I've got an alert set right here that where if we do start to cross this trend line, it'll trigger my alert, and I'll probably go buy some spot because we'll probably see a huge squeeze up, out of here. We've got touches on the bottom down here. We got touch up here, touch there, touch there. We've got 3 touches on top, and this is a monthly, so if we go down to a daily, there's probably a lot more touches in here. It's just a channel that we have right now, but the yearly says that we're going to go higher. I mean, that's a really nice yearly candle. It is a little bit up high. This candle is sitting up kind of high up here. Moving averages are coming up. So I don't know. I mean, it'll be real interesting. I definitely for sure think that once the high of this candle breaks, it's going to go. And that's kind of when I will spot buy, is when last year's high gets broken out, because then I'll be a lot more confident that Tesla will make a big move higher. So I'm not going to get into it until I see that point where last year's high is broken, because that also means that this trend line is being broken as well. So last year's high was 498. I've got my alert is set around 519, 520, just because that's right around where the trend line is right up here. And I want to know that that trend line is getting threatened, and then I'll kind of look at the daily, weekly kind of setup we have, and I'll kind of see if it's good to go, and I want to get in spot and hopefully not catch the top if it does decide to roll over. But it'll be spot position, so I won't use any leverage with it like I do with crypto. It'll just be a spot buy thing. It'll be something to watch. But I think it is definitely good to go if it wants to go here. It's got the candle to do it. And that's a really good candle to send it higher off of if it wants to. It's already got a little bit of a lower wick for this year. So if it wants to just get up and go from here, it can. If it wants to. And it'll look good on the yearly. NASDAQ is interesting. Green yearly, moving averages are rolling up. It's extended to the upside, I would say, but it's been on fire for a while, and we did have a swing come through here, and it's kind of squeezed up through it. I think when I was looking at it on a daily, it was looking kind of sketch, and because it was in a rising wedge, and now it's kind of being threatened here, and I'll zoom into it. It's kind of looking kind of toppy for the short term. Let's see here. So the NASDAQ, got a red reversal. We've kind of rolled over. We're coming back up in the moving averages. It'll be interesting if it wants to save itself and get back up here, because we're coming out of this trend line where it could break down from here and test lower. And we'll see. It's been on fire, but it's been up in a rising wedge, and rising wedges, lead to bearish reversals a lot of the time. If we look right here, rising wedge. So, we get our pattern, coming up like this, and then it usually breaks down. So this is kind of the pattern we have right now, currently, rising wedge. We connect a few points in there, only 2 on top, so it makes me think that maybe it hasn't completed yet. It's the general pattern of this. We'll kind of see, and we'll kind of watch it. Nothing's over until it's over, but it is just kind of interesting to look at that it's very extended upward, and it's kind of starting to lose momentum here. And we can look at the MACD here, kind of zoom in on it. Let's see here. Let's go full screen on this. Let's do that. And there's your divergence right there, right in here. So a little bit of a divergence, and we're kind of just down from there. We've come back up to our baseline. And we'll just kind of see. We'll kind of monitor it and keep an eye on it. You can see that it's losing momentum. But who knows? Sometimes it just magically saves itself. Let's go back to our chart here, if we can. There we go. So it's at an interesting level. Like, will it roll over here, or will it get back up and save itself? And we'll keep an eye on it. So that's Tesla. Let's look at Amazon. It's also kind of in a rising wedge. Let's delete this trend line. Let's see what we can draw here. Let's see that. Kind of right in there. Let's delete this. Let's redraw this. Let's go Let's go from here. Right there. Let's do that. So, also kind of a rising wedge. We're kind of coming up into the apex of it. Let's really, I don't know what that is. This goes back to 2021, and it's very extended upward, and it's almost like we need to cool off, create another pattern before going higher. It's typically you don't just, when you're this, extended up into a rising wedge, you typically don't just burst up through. Typically you pull back and then you would come up. Let's see where we are in comparison to the moving averages and kind of zoom in and see what we have. So actually that's pretty bullish what we do have right now. This is a very bullish weekly candle that we have got going. I mean, the 8's above the 10, 10's above the 20. Everything was kind of tight in here. Now it's kind of rolling up into this hammer. It's got the candle to get up and at least test this trend line, up here. Maybe 260 on Amazon. It's at 239 right now. Maybe it'll come up here before rolling over. We'll see. Trend lines aren't perfect, but we're on a weekly, so there's probably another way to draw it too, but it's pretty close. The bottom trend line's pretty close, pretty accurate. Overall, let's see the yearly. Let's see the yearly on Amazon and what it got. And, wow. Just look at that. It's got like a green hanging man. Sometimes when I've seen candles that have this crazy low of a lower wick, and they're sitting way up high. Here, I'll clear out some of these trend lines. Sometimes you can get an initial move up and then come back into the moving averages. And sometimes these can be kind of topping candles, even though it's green. So I don't know. It'll be something interesting to watch. Above the moving averages. Let's see. Where's the 8 at? 176. It's a pretty steep drop from 239. It can keep going if it wants to. If it wants to make a move, it can. It's got the right color candle. The body is closer to the top of the candle, than it's the lower part. So I think that, Amazon, if it wants to go, it can. It's got green. What did we see on the NASDAQ? Yeah, the NASDAQ had a big green hammer, sitting way high up above the moving averages. So, it's pretty far and away above, but it does have a green yearly, kind of continuation if it wants to keep going up. GameStop is another one people like to look at, and it got kind of an inside red inverse hammer, but kind of right by where the moving averages are. I don't know. I was never kind of big in on the GameStop, and it doesn't have the candle to move higher this year. So S&P 500, it's got the same kind of candle as the NASDAQ. Big up high green hammer, and I think we've already broken the high of last year in this. Have we? 6986, 6945. Yeah, we've already broken the high. So I don't know. But let's zoom in on this and see here. Let's go to a weekly because I'm curious. Yeah, we did get a red weekly last week. I don't know. 1, 2. Let's look at the monthly. Let's go to a monthly. Green, off of green, so we're still in the green. I don't know. Well, the moving averages are still good. Good on the monthly. Let's go to 3 week. And we did get a red 3 week, but it's a small candle inside. We've already broken the low of it. Moving averages are still fine. let's see, a 2 week, 2 weeks looking decent. Let's go to the 1 week. Green hammer, 1 week on the moving averages, looks fine. So SPX still looks fine. There is some worry of it being, kind of a double top up here. I know some people were talking about, but especially with this big red day came down. This was a 3-day candle. Let's go back to daily. Yeah, it was like people saw this kind of double top sell off, pull back up, and then now we had some selling off last week, but now we've kind of come back up into the moving averages, and I don't know if we're going to get back up here or not. Gap down. Let's see if it saves itself this week. It's going to be an interesting week on what it wants to do. I mean, it seems extended, like so extended up. Like it almost does need a pullback, something, set up and then go. But it wants to keep going higher. I mean, it's got the long-term candles to, keep going higher off of. But almost looks like we need like some of this to set up to keep going because we've just been. It just looks like it's starting to get tired here, and we just need a little bit of a pullback. It doesn't look like it's just going to go up from here. It looks like it's just tired and needs a pullback. Let's check our MACD. Look for any other clues of what could happen here. Is there a little bit of a divergence, the other day? And you can see it. A little bit of a divergence right there, and then it drops off that. So I don't know, something interesting. I mean, it's got the long-term candles. I mean, the stock market compared to crypto, I would say looks better, but it's something to keep your eye on where it could top out too. I wouldn't just think that because the color of the yearly and the 6 month and some of those longer term candles, the S&P 500 is already broken its yearly high, so it could, reverse at any time. But it does have the candle to keep going higher. All we can do is look at it on a daily perspective and kind of get a better idea that way. But I think, I don't know much else to go over. I really didn't see anything else in the charts. I mean, everything right now is in the green because the new weekly just opened and everything's kind of getting a retrace back up. So I think they want to get a little bit of an upper wick, and then maybe something will, news related will come out this week and we'll get our drop. I mean, I think Bitcoin's in a lot of trouble, like I said. We're at the long-term trend line, and I think it's just about ready to collapse here. And no one out there I see really on Twitter, maybe one other account I follow, has it drawn like this and is seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. And a lot of people are, looking at wave and fib theories and doing all sorts of weird, ways that they look at a chart and thinking that we're going to go on a massive bull run, and I just don't think there's anything there that suggests that we are. I mean, I wish I could say that. I'm not a person that is going to be like a person that holds on to hope. I want there to be more proof out there, and this is the only way I know is to find given clues that could be the closest thing to proof that shows that we're going to go higher, we're going to go lower, and I think the biggest clue out there that it takes literally no effort to go out and find. You don't even have to really know too much about charts. But to see this candle and think we're doing anything but going lower this year is, I don't know how these people see that. And you've got supposedly one of the, it's actually kind of funny. You got one of the dudes with the highest IQ in the entire world, and I had to Google this because I couldn't believe it. Young Whom Kim or something, I don't know. Couldn't pronounce his name, but he's on Twitter. He says his IQ is 276. Google says his IQ is 276. Highest IQ guy in the world's like, yeah, XRP, we're going to make a massive move up this year. Get long right now. And I'm like, is this guy for real? I don't even think I have an IQ near 100. And this guy's IQ is over 276, and he says we're going on a massive bull run off of this candle. I'm like, are you kidding me? In what world? Like, jeez. I had to call him out a couple times because I'm like, bro, stop misleading people. Like, that's ridiculous. And there's so many people on Twitter that are doing it. And I'm like, these influencers don't know anything. They don't know anything. I don't know what they're looking at. I think they're bored and just want to, hype people up and, give people something good to feel in. But these people are going to get wrecked. Like, they're going to get wrecked this year if they're using any sort of leverage or margin to go long on. So, and we'll see how it plays out. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. None of this is financial advice. I'm just telling you, that, my personal opinion, I don't think this high, XRP's high from last year is going to get taken out. I would like to see us drop, like I've said, break the low, come back up, close green hammer, and guess what? Then we can go higher. 2027. That'd be really nice. But we'll take it day by day. I'll make more videos, and I may start making these videos public. And we'll go from there. But right now I am short, and I'm going to keep shorting the market until we get back above moving averages. And we start setting up, and we start, we have a pattern to work with. We just don't have it. We're just hoping that everybody's out there just hoping for breaking news or something that's going to send us higher. And I'm telling you, it's, the chart just is not showing it. I think the chart already has the news priced in. So anything that, becomes breaking news later on, it's already been priced in for the most part, And usually if there is breaking news and we do pump, if we pump off of reds, we're going to come back down. So I'm not really that worried about us just getting up from here and going. And I think the insiders know that too, and that's why we did get this candle. If any breaking news, XRP part of, gets bought up by a bank or something like that happens, we may get a pump up, but we're probably going to come back down just because of the candle colors we got, more than likely. So we'll see. But I am bearish this year, and I'm hopefully, and I'll start to, and I'm human, so I know that when we start breaking the low of last year, I may start buying in a little bit, but, it's never guaranteed that we are going to come back up, It's not guaranteed when you got a red reversal like this. So, I'm starting to lose my voice again, I'm not going to lie, so I'm probably going to end the video here. I've been ranting long enough.